how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the African Comic Guy. I hope you guys are doing extremely well. Happy New Year. I hope you guys had an incredible holiday season. I did as well. Spend some time with family. I always love spending time with family. And I'm excited about the new year. I'm really excited about 2024. Not only personally, I really believe and hope that you, and I know that you will have an incredible 2024 with whatever you have going for yourself. I'm really hopeful that you accomplished or you do accomplish everything that you put your mind through this year. But, I know it's been a minute. But again, the holiday season, a lot of things slow down. People slow down and this as well. And I'm back because I want to just do a recap. Really quick recap of 2023. Talk a little bit about 2024 when it comes to comic books. And 2023 comic book movie wise, was not a really good year. You had a few select movies from both studios. Actually, not from one studio. The highest comic book grossing movie this year was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that made over 800 million. And even according to the critics and even Marvel themselves, they believe that movie would have done way more. They expect a lot more from that movie, but the numbers say it did well, but they say otherwise. But outside of that, barely any other movie outside of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is an animated Spider-Man movie. And if you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix right now. It's an outstanding movie. That movie, the first one was outstanding. This one was really good as well. And you can find it on Netflix. Outside of that, every other movie didn't really do well, especially when it comes to Marvel. I think Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania just did shy over 400 million. I mean, you saw the Marvels barely, and this movie came out last month, barely hit $170 globally. I mean, it bombed really badly. So it's really sad, and I don't even know what to say when it comes to Marvel, because I think Marvel coming into 2023 really believed that they would do extremely well, but unfortunately, again, when you alienate your fans, not only with what you're putting out, horrible writing, and then you woke things up, this is what happens. People don't really get excited to watch content anymore. I mean, just look at what happened to DC. DC this year had a slate of movies that came really hyped, starting off with Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is a sequel to the original Shazam, and the original Shazam was a really fun movie. If you watched it, you actually enjoyed watching that movie. So you actually got excited about watching the sequel. And then this movie comes in, and halfway through it, you're just like, what in the name of hell am I watching right now? You know what I mean? And as a DC fan, it was so disappointing. Then came The Flash. I remember hearing that they've done everything. Like, this movie will basically be the next chapter of the DCEU. I mean, they hyped this movie up so bad. I went in, I just remember having a hot dog, and I never really buy popcorn when I go watch movies, but I was going all in with this movie. And when I tell you, I've never regretted spending money that badly. That movie was so bad, really was. And then followed by Blue Beetle, following The Flash. Now, Blue Beetle, I think I've mentioned this before. Blue Beetle was a really good movie, really fun family movie, and unfortunately, it just got caught up with this nightmare of a year when it comes to really bad movies. And it got caught up with this landslide. And like I said, when you alienate your fans become jaded. They don't get excited to watch another movie. People expect. Think about it. If you're a DC fan, coming from Shazam and The Flash, two movies that absolutely bombed, right? In every imaginable way. Here comes Blue Beetle. And that movie it wasn't marketed as much as those two movies were, right? And it almost felt like Warner Brothers gave up on this movie. And yet this was a really good movie. Really fun movie, and you can also get it on Max, and I think you can also get it on Netflix now. A lot of DC movies are actually on Netflix now. Man of Steel actually is top five most watched movies on the planet right now. And funny enough, I think Batman versus Superman is on that list as well. But yeah, here came a good movie, and like I've said before, this really wasn't the movie's fault. This was a really, really good movie, but unfortunately, everything around it was just so bad. People expected it to be bad, so why spend money going to watch a movie when I believe it's going to be bad? That's exactly what happened to that movie. But it's a really good movie, and I love the fact they're keeping the actor. They're keeping Blue Beetle, and Blue Beetle will actually be part of the DCU. You know what I mean? And then after that came this. The end of the year came Aquaman and the Last Kingdom. And I did a review of this movie when it came out, and I liked it. I said this movie was good, not great. I said it was okay. I didn't get out of that movie theater going, I wasted my money. This was absolutely awful. I I got out of that movie going, this was not a bad movie, which is not. Whenever you say something was not that bad, it's not a good thing to say, right? It's almost like an indictment of what you watched or what you did. But I was okay. I didn't feel bad. It's like I was just in the middle, not too high, not too low, just in the middle. And I think that's exactly where I expected to be. I didn't expect this movie to be good. I would have been surprised if it was. I wish it was. And then I wouldn't have been surprised if the movie was bad, because all we had was horrible stuff this past year. But I was pleasantly surprised that it kept me in the middle, But that was the year of movies. But it was a year of really bad movies with both studios, because both studios lost a lot of money. The amount of money that goes in not only to making these movies, marketing these movies, distributing these movies, is a lot of money involved. And they lost a lot of money. And a lot of it is, again, when you're doing so much, not necessarily, not so much with, I think with DC, it just got so bad with writing. The content was just so bad. I mean, the CGI for a studio as big as Warner Brothers, I mean, seriously speaking, your CGI cannot be this bad. For Marvel, your storytelling, woking everything up. Again, I've said I love that we're in this era where, yeah, people can be woke, but there's a line, right? There's this thin line where when it comes to things that have source materials, comic book movies have source material. That source material is not woke, maybe now, but not original content. So if you're making a movie and you say your source material is the original content, keep it to that, right? Your fan base expects you to do that. Otherwise, you end up having movies like Thor, Love and Thunder. That movie was horrible, really bad. You know what I mean? You end up having movies like Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I mean, you had an outstanding cast. I mean, outstanding cast. And then this is what you give us. I mean, look at The Flash. You were actually bringing back the original Batman. And he did look badass in that movie. But yet, you wasted him. I don't even want to get into The Flash. But 2023 was a year to forget when it came to comic book movies. It really was. And it leads us into 2024. 2024. Let me start with DC. Again, I am a constant optimist. I really believe that I'm the glass half full type of guy. Always am. And right now, DC is going through a revamp, right? It feels like it's like a metamorphosis right now, with James Gunn being the studio head for DC. And I love the fact, I've been talking about this for so long, that DC needed to have not only a studio head, but DC needed to stand alone as its own entity outside of Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers needs, outside of financing, Warner Brothers should stay the hell away from DC. And with James Gunn being the head of DC, he's ushering the next era for DC content. And I'm excited about that, because the only movie coming out this year is the sequel to The Joker. with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn. I can't wait to see how she portrays Harley Quinn. We've had Margot Robbie play Harley Quinn, and she's done an outstanding job doing it. So I can't wait to see how they play off of each other with Joaquin Phoenix as a Joker and Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I can't wait to see how these two characters play off of each other and how they actually because I know they're gonna. I can almost feel like they will have a chemistry, right? It almost looks like that they will have chemistry. So I can't wait to see what happens with that movie. But yeah, so there's not a lot to expect with DC outside of DC movies. This DC shows like Superman and Lois, which is an outstanding show. You have the Titans, I think, coming back for their last year. I think you also have Doom Patrol coming back for their final year. So there are a few shows here and there. And even Young Justice. I don't know if Young Justice animation is coming back this year or not, which is another really, really cool animated show. So when it comes to movies, you're not really expecting a whole lot from DC. But what I love about that is, again, I think I've talked about oversaturation when it comes to comic book content, especially movies, with both studios over the last few years, because people get sick and tired of watching stuff and then now watching things really bomb, right? So I think what he's said, that his new era of DC, especially the DC, he calls it the DC universe, DCU, coming out of the DCEU. I hate saying the DCEU is over, but again, I'm moving on. So he will basically, it's almost like choreograph the next era of DC content. And I love the fact that he's encompassing everything from animated shows to TV shows to movies. You know what I mean? He's actually, he's going to be in charge of grafting where DCU or the DC goes from here on out. So, and he said that the storytelling will be crucial in all these aspects, from animation to TV to movies. And he will make sure that we get this continuity with everything. And I can't wait to see that, because as a comic fan, that's exactly what you love. You love going through a comic book to a graphic novel to animation to a TV show to a movie, and they're all super connected. I can't wait to see that. And I really believe that the fact that he's been given the keys to the kingdom, he's actually going to do a really great job, because you have experience. You see what works, you see what doesn't work. With Marvel, you have a slate of TV shows and movies coming out this year, and you see them here. I know right now they're scrambling. They're really scrambling to do the same thing, almost try to rejuvenate their fan base, because their fan base, like the DC fan base, are sick and tired of just watching crap. Right? Yeah, they have a new show, Echo, coming out this month, and I'm excited to see this show because it looks like it's going to be a good show, and they always look like they're going to be a good show. And then you watch She-Hulk and you go, oh, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping this is really a good show. It's well written. Keep it badass, okay? Because they're reintroducing a character. If you know Kingpin from Daredevil, that used to be on Netflix, he was badass. I hope he's badass on Echo. So, because the fan base wants to see these things. So I hope they keep it. They keep it like this, because again, if not, you're gonna have a whole year with bad stuff where you spend so much money and now you're in the red. You know what I mean? So I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful that their content, they've done their research, that they've listened to fans, and they give us good material. So I say all of that to say that as a comic book fan, and I'm still a fan. You know what I mean? I'm the kind of fan who, even if I know a movie is going to be bad, as a comic fan, especially DC, I'll still watch it. I'm the kind of fan who loves Green Lantern. I love that Green Lantern movie. A lot of people don't. Now, I've talked about, I had issues in that movie. I think casting Ryan Reynolds was a good cast. But again, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Good writing, good directing, and good casting. You hit those three really well, you hit a home run. And I think they hit good casting. Ryan Reynolds, he was and he played the character well. Directing what? It was okay. It was actually really well directed. The story just sucked. It really did. And the CGI, I mean, same thing they tried to do with Superman's with Josh Whedon, fake ass mustache. You know what I mean? When they're trying to CGI that stuff, that's what they tried to do with the CGI with Green Lantern, and it just didn't work. But it was a good movie, and I really love that movie. I really do. So as a fan, I am extremely hopeful that we are entering a new era of comic book content, right? Not just movies. I'm talking about TV shows, animated shows, and even comic books themselves. I'm hopeful that we're going to start seeing when it comes to movies, we're going to start seeing movies go back to good storytelling, right? You get captured by the story, not necessarily the superhero and his stuff. And no, it's just write a good story. You write a good story, you capture people. The first Iron Man movie launched Marvel. I mean, you can say Blade launched Marvel. You can say that, and you'd be right. But that first Iron Man movie launched the new era of Marvel. Why? Because it was well written. It was well written. So, get us back there. Man of Steel was well written. Launched the DCEU. Unfortunately, the studio fumbled the DCEU. But it was a good story. Outstanding story. So give us good storytelling. We know you're going to cast well because outside of a few characters, both studios have cast very well. Both studios have asked really good directors to direct good movies. So it's good storytelling. Take us back to good storytelling. And I tell you, we're going to spend money. We want to spend money as a fan base. So listen to the fans, give us what we want, and you get what you want. I truly believe that. Anyway, that's a wrap for 2023 when it came to comic book content. I hope, like me, if you are a fan of comic book movies, I hope that you remain hopeful. You do. Do not give up on these two studios. If you're a fan of either studio, if you're a fan of just comic books in general, comic book movies in general, don't become too hung up on, you know what, I think we're done with good. No, I really believe these two studios with their studio heads really thinking of what and which way to go. I really think and I really believe we're going to have really good things to say at the end of this year when it comes to where the direction of both studios are heading. That right there would be a good year. So I can't wait. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. And like always, I am the African Comic Guy signing off. See you guys later. Peace.